too.
I like that shirt.
Thanks.
All right, we going?
All right.
All right, everybody, what's happening? And it's time for At Home with the Crossover. I am your man, Big T, alongside the usual cast of characters. We talking about none other than the belt wearing, Eagles hat wearing, Lakers loving, Wake Forest representing. We're man of the crossover. We talking about Birdman is in the house. Bird, what is up?
Oh, you didn't know? You better call somebody. It's the crossover right now.
Let them know, Bird. Let them know.
And then we're gonna save him for last. Then we got our resident baseball expert, the baseball guru. If you want to know anything about baseball, ask this man. I'm sure he can come up with it right off the top of the dome like a computer. Talking about our man Stats. Stats is in the house. What's going on?
I'm just a simple man who loves the game of baseball.
I like that.
Well said, sir.
We saved him for last, I mean, blind as bad as he is, but he makes it through the show each and every week. I don't know how he does it. Know how he sees the computer screen. I don't know how he hits the keys and everything, but he gets it done. Radar Charles is in the house. What's going on, Radar?
You know what, Big T? Today is such a special day because now is the way. When them Aggies don't show up to play, baby, I'm excited tonight, baby. I get some more shots tonight, baby. Stats get some more shots. Birdman get more shots because the Aggies didn't come to play, baby. I'm excited.
You are crazy. Crazy. Hey, listen up, everybody. Together, we are the Tunnel Crew, watching everything that happens inside and outside the tunnel, leading to the lines of competition in the world of sports. And on tonight's edition of At Home with the Crossover, we revisit the National Football League. It's been dormant, with a few things here, there, the draft, the combine, and free agency, so on and so forth, the schedule release. But they got the owners' meetings going on this week, so we'll touch a little bit on the NFL, and we'll talk a little bit about Tiger and his future. Tiger struggled PGA this past weekend, so we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll find out how Coach Prime and Nick Saban might not be doing any more Aflac commercials together. It's possible that those guys might not be hooking up anymore after the stuff that was said and done and went down this weekend. So we got all of that and more to talk about. But first, we start with our hot topics. The hottest stories in sports may not be what everybody else is talking about, but it's the things we, the Tunnel Crew, want to talk about. And I can just simply put it like this. The Mavs are being outclassed, y'all. Mavs are simply being outclassed. They're down 3-0 in the Western Conference Finals, despite Luka Doncic averaging 34 points a game in the series, averaging 7 rebounds a game in the series, averaging 5 assists a game in the series. He's had 40 points in back-to-back games. Game 2 and Game 3, he scored 40-plus points in both games. He became one of only 6 players in the history of the NBA to have back-to-back 40-point games in the playoffs and lose both games. All right, lose both games. He joins the list with Devin Booker last year, 2021, LeBron James back in 2009, Magic Johnson in 1990, Michael Jordan in 1989, and a guy that we all know, Jerry West, back in 1965. So those are the guys. That's rarefied air, but you don't want to be in that company. 40 points in back-to-back games, losing both of them, and so they're down 3-0. My question to the Tunnel Crew is it over tonight? Do the Golden State Warriors put a bow on it, send Luka and the Dallas Mavericks home? But before you answer that, we gotta introduce the queen,
No, we don't.
mom,
No, we don't.
first lady, doctor,
Uh-uh.
entrepreneur,
Don't do it.
hey, the millionaire, all those things. We got to introduce her. Oh, we got to introduce her because she has joined us, and now Radar Charles ain't got nothing to say. Did you hear what he was saying, TP, before you came on? Did you hear him talking junk?
Don't instigate, Big T.
Tattletale. That's a tattletale right there.
Tell me what he said, Big T. Tell me what he
Don't
said.
tell Big T.
Hey, he talking about narrow is the way when the Aggies don't come to play.
Yeah. See? And I'm gonna tell you now, see, some of us had to go to the doctor. We had,
Mhm.
we have sinus infection. So
Mhm.
if anything, I asked the saints to pray for me. So I'm just returning back. Thought I could
There
make
you
it in
go.
time. But it's
Glad
all
you
right.
made it.
I'll just give these germs to Radar. Nothing but germs are coming out of his mouth. I'm just gonna pass them on to him.
Hey, he already can't see. Now he won't be able to breathe.
I know it. Look, I done got everything, y'all. Everything.
Well, hey, we glad you were a soldier, a trooper, and have
Amen.
made it. So,
Yes.
Thanks
welcome
for
to the
nothing.
show.
Thanks for nothing. Man, that ruined my show.
You
Go
know
ahead.
what?
Go on.
God just had to show up and show out.
There you go.
But I do want to say something in reference to the question.
Mhm.
You know, I've always been a Warriors fan. Well, let me
Mhm.
back up. I'm a Steph Curry fan, but I love the Splash Brothers. But you know,
Mhm.
I just like the Warriors organization. To me, they have really stepped up in recent years.
Yeah.
It's in my opinion, especially since Baron Davis was there. Because I remember just really not hearing much from them for years. And then when Baron Davis went to the Warriors, I was like, okay, I'm starting to hear a little something. So of course, when Steph went there, you know, I just been a fan of his for his overall personality. So I'm hoping that the Warriors will go ahead and close it out. I chose
Go ahead
them.
and finish it tonight.
Yes,
Go ahead and put that dagger in.
yes.
Bird, Radar, Stats, your thoughts? Is the series over tonight, or will Luka get another 40-pointer and extend the series?
You know, I don't know what's worse, but then again, it's Dallas. You know, we had the Cowgirls blowing it in the playoffs. So what do you expect the Mavs to do in this point? I mean, Luka is only one guy. It's just like saying that's LeBron's team. You know, they do the same thing with LeBron, Giannis, all the star players, but they're just one guy. It's a team sport. Everybody on the team has to step up. And to me, the hype of the last series just didn't carry over into this series for some reason. So I don't know what's going on.
Warriors, I think at the end of the day, the more experienced team in the playoffs oftentimes wins. And I think you're going to see Miami win too. I think Miami's going to play Golden State in the finals. That's my honest prediction.
Okay.
I think
All right. Hey, Radar, your thoughts?
You know what? I don't know why Birdman persists to throw LeBron's name up in relevant conversation because I honestly believe that this year that they're going to sweep the Mavs and go on to win. But this is the caveat. The Grizzlies and the Mavs are going to be very strong next year. I mean, I'm talking about strong enough to make them boys be like, wait a minute, we're gonna have to overspend to keep competing, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and real quick, I want everybody to hear me. Sometimes your words get taken out of context, and I want everybody to hear me. Hear me. Listen carefully, okay? Listen carefully. Luka Doncic is not Michael Jordan. I am not saying the guy is Michael Jordan, but what I am saying is it's very similar to Michael Jordan back when he was putting up all those points, 60, what was it, 63 points, 69, whatever it was against the Celtics in the Garden and lost the game. That was one of those back-to-back 40 or more games that he had. And he just don't have the help around him, so he's trying to do way too much. You know, do they need to go out and get the man some help?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not going to take much.
Mhm.
I think they're very close.
Yeah. Yep.
TP, what you think? Since you late, you should have got more information than us.
But therefore, no, I unfortunately I agree that they should. I agree with Radar, unfortunately.
Yeah. So you don't want to.
No, I don't. I don't. But I agree with him. I do think that they would need some extra help. Let me tell you, every good team has about at least 3 good men.
Yep.
Michael Jordan had Pippen, and
Yep.
and he always
Rodman.
had another one, whether it was Rodman.
Before
or
that, it was
someone.
Horace Grant, you know.
Yeah, somebody. So
Mhm.
I would at least say, every team had a good 3. You can't do it by yourself. And I think that's also what LeBron was trying to bring in, is to say,
Yeah.
listen, stop depending on me so much. Because if he does retire, I hate to say it, but you got to look at him as a veteran player now, to where he's trying to pass stuff down. So, like he talks about Giannis.
Yeah.
He need help, he needs help. Can't do it by himself.
And Dinwiddie and Bullock and Brunson have shown themselves to be somebody you can depend on, and hey, give them another season, because this is a great team.
Yeah.
And before I got on the show tonight, I looked up the fact that some of the guys that are on the Mount Rushmore have been swept at least twice in playoff competition before the finals. Yeah. So to your point, it is very Jordan-esque in terms of the path that he's going right now, because he's facing a great team. Let's not look at these guys like they're a slouch.
That's
you got
right.
four Hall of Famers on there at least.
Yeah.
So you know what? It's a matter of what is it going to take, what type of chemistry, what has to go here to put it all together.
You got to find the right pieces.
Yeah.
And keep it together.
Yeah. Well, and hey, Luke was only 23 years old, so he's averaging the most points of anybody through the playoffs. He's averaged 34 a game this series, but through the playoffs, he's averaging 32 a game, and that's the most points anybody's averaging of all the players in the playoffs. So, hey,
and here's a fun fact, Big T. That's a blessing, because we're going to be seeing Luka Doncic and Giannis in the finals for the next 5 years.
Look at Bird. Bird's like, oh Lord.
Birdman don't want to hear that, but that's what we get ready to see, sir.
International
NBA finals for the next 5 years.
Stats is waving you away.
Yeah, he is.
Why are you waving away?
It ain't gonna be Milwaukee more than 1 year. They get one chance every 10 years and they blow it usually. And they ain't no better than Dallas.
Okay.
They are the new version. They are the new version of the Toronto Raptors. When they won the championship, you didn't hear nothing from them no more.
Well, but it's a little different. I mean, when Kawhi Leonard, who was arguably the third or fourth best player in the league at that time, leaves after they win the championship. Leaves during the offseason right after they win the championship. That's a little different. That would be like Giannis leaving after they won the championship. Giannis is still there, so
no excuses. Were they back in the finals? No, they weren't. Not the year after they won. No, they weren't.
That would be like the Lakers losing LeBron the year after they won in the bubble.
Exactly.
They weren't in the finals next year with LeBron.
Toronto is still celebrating that championship. They don't care.
Yeah, that's right.
Celebrating.
And Giannis is what, 28, and LeBron is what, 38?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, hey, let's go to the Eastern Conference right quick. Eastern Conference Finals, where the Celtics knotted the series at 2 games apiece, and they did this after routing Miami in the last game. They beat them 102-82. It was a 20-point blowout. They were up 18-1 at one point in the first quarter, 26-4, and 29-11 at the end of the first quarter. So it was an 18-point lead after one. And here's what's interesting to me. Miami shot, they were 8 out of 14 from the free throw line. Boston was 32 out of 38 from the free throw line. So that tells you right there who the more aggressive team was. And listen, we're going to continue to talk about the Eastern Conference Finals. Got stats with the baseball report and much, much more on the other side of the break. You're listening to At Home with Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, The Joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All righty. All right, everybody.
All right, technical difficulties there. Welcome back to Add On with the Crossover. Sorry about that. Be sure to catch us live every Tuesday night on YouTube. You want to see Blind Radar smiling face, you know, talking junk, leaning back in the chair like he's a boss. Hey, you know, hey, you want to see Bird, man, with his championship belt on, perpetrating. And you want to see Stats bringing the baseball knowledge and letting everybody know everything there is to know about baseball. You want to see the Queen, you know, with her smiling face and, you know, giving us all of the social media updates and, hey, got dinner cooking in the mansion behind her, you know, because she got to make sure, you know, Che got something in the stomach, you know, so you want to see all of this, and you can see it every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. live on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. That's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on YouTube, the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it online also at WLJFradio.com. You can download the 100.7 WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. All right, so we started talking about the Eastern Conference Finals right before the break. We're not going to spend too much time on it because, I mean, you know, these games have been decidedly back and forth, blowouts, domination. You know, I mean, you had in game 3, Jason Tatum goes out there and scores 10 points. Then he comes back in game 4 and scores 31 points. You had Bam Adebayo scoring 31 points in game 3, comes back in the next game and scores 9 points, you know. And like we said, this game was over. I mean, it was an 18-point lead at the end of the first quarter, and Miami never looked back. Boston never looked back. They went on to win it by 20. And, you know, here's some interesting facts. Okay, a history was made because Victor Oladipo came off the bench for Miami and scored 23 points. Off the bench, he outscored all 5 of the Miami Heat starters. Jimmy Butler only scored 6 points. The starters, all 5 combined, scored 18 points, y'all. That is the fewest points by a starting 5 in a playoff series in over 50 years. So the question is, we got 3 games left in this series, y'all. Well, at least 2, possibly 3. Who do you think is going to win? We already know, Stats has already told us that Miami is going to show their superior age and maturity, and they're going to take care of it. Does the rest of the Tunnel Crew agree with Stats? Do you think this is the Boston Celtics series?
I'm with Stats.
Okay.
I'm torn.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I mean,
I'm the
Celtics
same.
has history.
Yeah.
Celtics has history. That's what I'm looking at. I
Yeah.
mean, this,
And they got a lot of chemistry too.
yeah.
I'm like UTP, and the Celtics, they're 5-0 in these playoffs when they lose.
Yeah.
So it's like they know how to bounce back from a loss. When they lose, they come back and win the next game. So so we'll see what happens. Stats, your thought. I mean, Bird, your thoughts.
I guess we'll make this 3 for 3 because they're both good teams, but I'm leaning more towards the Celtics because a couple years ago in the bubble, you know, they made it to the finals, but they couldn't quite get through that glass ceiling. They couldn't grab that brass ring in a sense. Yeah. So, I mean, they got all the pieces and they got all the talent, but something just isn't clicking for them when they get to the big bright lights. You know, I want to see, are they going to take it to the next level in this series? But I'm leaning more towards the Celtics because I think it's Jason Tatum's time to shine in the finals.
Well, Tatum's definitely a star, and if the stars show up and play like stars are supposed to play, then typically they win. But, you know, Jimmy Butler, you know, he's a star too. You're not going to win only putting up 6 points.
A great side note, the coach for Boston is from the Greg Popovich coaching tree. And he's already shown that he can make adjustments and put players in the right spots.
Yeah.
Hey,
we got any social media shout outs?
Yes, I was going to say that Small Wonder has said that the Boston Celtics series. So she's picking the Boston Celtics series.
Okay, all right. So she likes Boston. Okay.
Yeah, but I did want to ask Stats what made him pick Miami.
You know, I think you got to look at resilience. This team had Butler for like 2 weeks, and they still almost every game without him. And I think that's a lot. And you look at, you know, losing a game like that, you know, with a resilient team, I don't see why they can't win the next game. I just don't see why they cannot win the next game.
Yeah. All right. Well, Stats, give us a baseball update. Let us know what's going on in Major League Baseball.
So, since you had questions about the Jackie remark that Josh Donaldson made toward Tim Anderson, that's the second time he called him Jackie. So apparently it is a race thing, and it is a problem, and he has been fined and he's been suspended for 1 game. They said he tested positive for COVID. That's probably a fake report. All right, so moving on to real news with Major League Baseball. The Houston Astros are now 27-16. They have surged to the top of the division the last few weeks, and they beat Toronto 2 out of 3 in you can't play here if you haven't been vaccinated, Canada. That was a tough thing to do. They put Jeremy Pena, the rookie, in the 6th hole. Dusty Baker got his 2000th win. And I don't necessarily like the fact the Astros are still good, but they've been a darn good team the last decade in MLB, and you got to give them a little respect. You just have to. Moving on to other teams, you know, the Astros lost to the Guardians yesterday. It happens. They had their City Edition uniforms on. They weren't caring about the result on the field. Moving on to other news, Milwaukee Brewers, they continue to find a way. That's the key, you know, in baseball. You got to keep finding a way. And this is the theme for this week's show. The Brewers and the Rays both do it. The Brewers first in the Central, albeit only 2 games above St. Louis. St. Louis hit a walk-off home run from Paul Goldschmidt last night. And Milwaukee dropped a few games, 1 to Washington, 1 to San Diego. They just didn't hit, honestly. They pitched decently. But at the end of the day, the Brewers, they have a 2-game lead. The Rays have a 2-game lead, second American League wild card. Both teams find ways to win, whether it's 3-2 or 7-6. Wander Franco, also former Durham Bull, he looks like a perennial all-star for the Tampa Bay Rays, just based upon his glove work. I need to see a little more from Kevin Kiermaier, though. And Keston Hiura hit a walk-off homer for the Brewers to help beat the Braves last weekend, win the series. They beat Kenley Jansen, the former Dodger, and that was his first game back in the bigs. So that's pretty impressive stuff. Continuing on other news, the Reds lost a game in which they no-hit the Pittsburgh Pirates 2 weeks ago. They lost 1-0. That was the first time that had happened since 1926. But for the Reds, luckily, they do have a couple of electric young arms, and they did beat Toronto in 1 game up in Canada this past weekend, and they won the Battle of Ohio against their rival Guardians. not the Indians. Sounds weird, but that's what it is. Joey Votto also had a home run against the Blue Jays in his native country of Canada. There is value in a middle name in baseball. Alex Faedo, rookie pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. Normally when I look on the card, it says Alex Faedo, the pitcher card that reads their name. He changed his name to Alex Michael Faedo on the card, and he beat the Cleveland Guardians. He gave up 2 runs, pitched 6 innings, looked pretty good. I actually was talking to my girlfriend about it. I said, hey, this guy didn't win when his name was Alex Faedo. And now his name's Alex Michael Faedo. And she just responded, well, it sounds more proper. Well, I was like, yeah, well, maybe he thought it sounded more proper and his curveball was a little more sharper. So it worked out okay for him. The Philadelphia Phillies avoided a sweep against the Los Angeles Dodgers from a kicked ground ball from Max Muncy. They were going to fall to 5 games under 500. They ended up being 2 games under 500 after beating Atlanta last night, and they found a way to stay relevant. And that's all I have for this week on Isaac's MLB Recap.
MLB Recap. All right, I love that. Thanks a lot, Stats. We appreciate it because we got listeners that love baseball. And they want to know what's going on. So we got to make sure that they're informed. And hey, you're the guy that brings the heat, to steal a baseball term, when it comes to baseball. So we appreciate Stats with his baseball report. Hey, it's kind of, for those of you who listen to the show only, like on Thursday night, you might listen to it, the audio version, or you might have it on YouTube, but you're doing something else, so you're listening to it in the background. Man, we're sitting here watching people pretend like they're throwing up in trash cans and spinning belts. There is a lot going on.
And pretending like they can cook, Big T. Oh, wait a minute.
There's a lot going
from
on.
her kitchen?
Let me tell y'all what's so bad about that. He's saying pretending to cook, but yet they forget that somebody did feed them. Somebody did feed you.
Pardon me.
You're still alive. And I was reminded to tell you from Small Wonder that Aggies are in the house for sure. Don't hate on the Aggies, sir.
Hey,
Okay.
there you go, North Carolina Central man.
Stats. Our YouTube family said that you did an excellent job, and thank you.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Yes.
Hey, appreciate that social media update, TP.
Yes.
We really thank you. All right, so we're gonna blow through a couple of stories before we get to our main story that's gonna lead to our question of the day. Simply put, like I mentioned in the opening, we're gonna talk a little NFL because the NFL owners meetings wrapped up or they're going on right now, and a couple of things that came out of it. Pro Bowl might be gone. I think Pro Bowl's been played, they said, since the 1920s. The Pro Bowl might be replaced with something. They said maybe a 7-on-7 no tackle game or whatever, but the Pro Bowl might be done. And then Roger Goodell was asked about Deshaun Watson with his 22 civil lawsuits that are, pending or whatever. And he basically said, hey, the investigation is about to be wrapped. It's about to conclude. And from there, we'll move on to the disciplinary part, hand things over to disciplinary officials, and they'll make a decision from there. Who is he kidding? We know he's going to make the decision. But and then Aaron Rodgers he was a no-show today for OTAs. But you remember last year he was no-show, and there was a little bit of hostility between him and LaFleur. He was a little, taken back by him. Now, today he was, it's all right. We've been in communication. Everything's good, Hey, I think after Aaron talked about retiring and had him scared, he backed off this year. He was like, you know what? I'm not gonna ruffle his feathers and make him mad. Radar, your thoughts, because that's your team. Your thoughts on A-Rod not showing up.
You know what? As soon as he signed that deal, he had the keys to the city. I knew that dude was gonna act out. He can't be right, but he'll do okay. He better not show up out of shape like he did last year, and take a L to the Saints.
They took an L to the Saints.
Right. Got the brakes beat off of him by Jameis Winston. Had him looking like Doug Williams. That's it, man.
Hey, and then my last story, before we get to our story, is going to be lead to the question of the day, which will probably have to come on the other side of the break. Tiger Woods played in the PGA tournament last weekend, y'all, and he had two of the worst rounds of his career. Ended up having to withdraw after the third round. He couldn't finish he did make the cut, but he couldn't finish the tournament. Your thoughts, Tunnel Crew, real quick. Are we looking at the end of Tiger Woods, or is this just a setback?
Yes, this is the end.
I'm not gonna say it's the end, only because to me it's his really first time really coming back since everything. So it's a matter of physical therapy, the way I see it.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen up. You can hear all of this great sports talk every Tuesday night live on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell everybody you know about it. That's every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Then on Thursday nights, 7 p.m., catch the audio show, the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. When we come back, it'll be time for the question of the day.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Hey, be sure to catch us live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. YouTube is the place. Love and Faith Radio as the YouTube channel. And be sure to check us out Tuesday night, 7 p.m. live. Like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. Make sure all the people you know about the Crossover Sports Show, because we have lots of fun. We give you lots of information. We give you lots of stats, and we just enjoy, life. And it's about the joy of the Lord shining through. And I believe that everybody can sense and feel the joy of the Lord from every member of the Tunnel Crew when we get together, talk sports. So there you go. And then on Thursday nights, you can catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. All right, let's get back into things here. And I got to set up our question of the day because we got an interesting question of the day tonight. So some stuff went down this week regarding NIL. For those who don't know what NIL is, it's name, image, and likeness. Players, it's been a little over a year now that players have been allowed to earn money off of their image and likeness and their name. And it's turning to a lot of coaches. They feel like it's turning a little bit into the wild, wild west because the the NCAA has a rule that says you can't use NIL to recruit. But as Nick Saban said this week, but they can't enforce that because it's not, it's not breaking, any kind of real laws. It's nothing that, is really happening that's illegal. So they really can't enforce it. They're afraid to try to stop it because they're afraid they'll end up in court again, like they did that led to the NIL in the first place. And they're like, we better just lay back. So Nick Saban had a few choice words to say. He said, hey, we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first, and they bought every one of their players. He said, we didn't buy a single player. And then he talked about the rule, the NCAA not being able to enforce the rule and everything. And he said, because it's not against the law. And he said, and that's a problem. Nick Saban said that's a problem. So Jimbo Fisher came back and said, hey, no rules were broken. Nothing was done wrong. And it's despicable that he's calling out, kids and their families and this, that, and other. And he said, you say this when you don't get your way. When things don't go the way you want them, you start doing this and this, that, and the other. And he says this when he's not on top. And he says, go talk to anyone who's coached for it, you may find out more than you want to know. He said some people think they're God, but dig into how God is doing his deals. Go dig into his past, and you might find out some things about him that you might not want to know. And then he said he coached with Coach Bobby Bowden, and he coached with Nick Saban. And he said, Coach Bowden, taught you things not to do. He said, then other guys teach you things. No, he said, Coach Bowden taught you what to do. He said, and other guys teach you things that you shouldn't be doing. And so, so the question to everybody, and then Deion got swept in it because Coach Saban said, Jackson State paid $1 million for a 5-star player, which is Travis Hunter. He committed to Jackson State, and Deion went on social media and said, I don't even make $1 million. So the question of the day is this, y'all. Has the NIL, name, image, and likeness, made college sports more entertaining? And what I mean by that is you had a Miami Hurricanes player basically come out and say, they got somebody in the transfer portal, and then it was announced that he got a $400,000 NIL deal. And this player that's a star on the team went to social media and said, well, if he get 400,000, I want 500,000. So it's like you got like the Wild Wild West, you got WWE, you got the Kardashians. It's like you've opened up this can of worms. You got coaches going after each other. This thing, has NIL made it more entertaining? I'm gonna hand it off to y'all.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna throw boxing in there too. Don King couldn't get no more drama than this, Big T. You got coaches calling out coaches, player calling out the amounts that they getting for an NIL deal. That doesn't, and then you got players moving and going to different locations. Coaches are moving and going to different locations. So they're coaches coaching against former mentors, calling mentors out. That's all I need to hear. I don't even need to see the game. I know the game is gonna be good.
Yeah.
You know what though? We're talking about the NIL, but let me tell you, J.R. Smith got to deal with the NIL.
Hey, there you go.
And and you talking about, this is what I'm gonna say. I don't just blame the NIL, but we talked about if they did this through the NCAA, what was gonna happen. And I'm not too surprised that Nick Saban and some of the other teams are talking junk. I'm not surprised that what he's saying with Deion, because Deion had the #1 recruit, and all Deion had to do. And we all know, especially being here in Greensboro, all we know that you have to do is take somebody to homecoming. That right there in itself, I don't care what HBCU homecoming you go to.
Yeah.
That right there is going to appeal. It's not it's going to appeal to anybody. You're talking about a well secure environment. You're around your peers. You have not been to college. The door is open, and you're around. It's not just any college. It's an HBCU experience that he was able to get. So then people want to know, well, what did you do? Did you bribe? Did you do this? You're talking about you're going to get money on top of a great experience that you're going to get for any player. So now you got coaches who used to get the top recruits, who's now saying, well, how is he able to do this? And it never happened in history before. But you also didn't have anybody you could relate to before. People can relate to Deion. They can say that he's been there. And HBCU coaches, and I'm not going to say all of them, but I can at least say for MEAC and a little bit for SWAC, he's absolutely right. I don't know any of them. Anybody know any? Stats know, his stats may know. You know any coach that's making even close to $1 million?
Not at all. Not in HBCU.
It's not an HBCU.
Right.
None. So if Deion ain't gonna make it, what in the world you think you're gonna get for this NIL thing when it comes to, you know what I'm saying? You got to put that on top of it for a player. Go ahead.
Right. And to TB's point, when have you ever had a player of that magnitude go through the ranks of coaching and then stay at the HBCU and bring attention to the HBCU? That's once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
So those moments come, and when you see it coming, it's like, oh, this is getting ready. And NIL deals are in place, and the transfer portal is in place. Come on, man. It don't take a rocket science to add that up. It's going to be more competition. Eddie George done took a team.
Yeah. Well, and here's the interesting thing. Talking about, has it made it more entertaining? I mean, think about it. Now we're wondering, okay, you looking around the landscape, you're like, so what HBCU is going to land the next big recruit? That's entertainment. It's entertaining to see, these stories pop up, even if guys, like if you think about it, how entertaining would it be to have a top 5 football player have his list of teams? He's got Alabama on the list. He's got Ohio State on the list. He's got Michigan on the list, He's got Florida State on the list. And then all of a sudden you look up and he's got Jackson State on the list. He's got Tennessee State on the list. You don't think that's going to create some entertainment? They're going to be following him for weeks and months and trying to figure out, is he going to go with them or not? That's, once again, and if he's looking at those things, how does NIL play into that? Well, some of those places are saying, we can offer you this. They can't use it for recruiting, but there's there are people whispering in their ears, hey, you come here,
the whole time.
Marjorie's Chicken and Waffles, we could use you to advertise. Break you off a little change.
Right. Local businesses. And then this caveat, a Black man wants to go to the school where we see other Black men successful in a productive environment. And that's scary to the other side of the table, dare I say. And they getting ready to start throwing hate. But that comes with competition.
Yeah.
Let the games begin, because A&T soon to be in behind them. Then you got the other schools, WSSU, Hampton.
Yeah.
So go on. I can go, I can go on. So it's going to open up the playing field. More players, more competition. It's going to be a beautiful thing, but it's going to be ugly at first.
Yeah.
Because nobody likes to share the crown.
But that's going to be entertaining though,
Yeah.
It's all about, the question is, are we going to be entertained by this? Go ahead,
Indeed.
I was curious to see what Birdman and Stats thought.
Stats, give us your thoughts.
I think that, I do think that a lot of HBCUs are going to be able to get players. I don't think that it's going to be where the big schools are going to fall apart.
No.
You're still going to get those transfers from your North Carolinas and your Tennessees and your South Carolina and your Florida State. They're going to get those transfer players, but they might have a recruiting hit from maybe, Grambling or Jackson State over the next few years. You just never. So I think it's going to be very interesting. I think that, HBCUs will start to get they're starting to get some players, 4 stars.
Now, let me ask you this, though, Stats. How much entertainment are you gonna gain from what's about to happen?
I don't follow the off season,
Uh-huh.
but when the season does start, I
Mhm.
watch as much college football as is humanly possible.
Uh-huh.
So those are good. I watch them. But I watched
Yeah.
Jackson State play their bowl game last year, so I watch it for sure. But
Okay.
as far as the entertainment aspect of it, let's see if they could get the players. If they get the players, they keep playing well. Everybody's gonna want to see that. So
Yeah. Birdman, your thoughts on the question of the day, which is, has the NIL, name, image, and likeness, made college sports more entertaining?
It has made it more entertaining. And I'll say this, even though it was a short-lived career for me in that area, coaching wise, I understand where both of those coaches are coming from.
Mhm.
I understand where Saban is coming from. I understand where Prime is coming from. But here's the thing, I'm going to take back a statement that I said behind off the air about the HBCUs, because it's like everybody's saying, it's going to be entertaining as far as NILs is concerned, with all these HBCUs competing. And like Radar was saying, on the other side of the table, people are just going to start hating. It's part of competition. It's kind of like WWE and WCW back in the day.
Yeah.
WWE was trying to take out WCW. WCW was, in the rankings for 83 weeks. And then all of a sudden WWE came out on top and ended up buying their company. It's kind of like that entertainment wise. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen this season in regards to the NILs.
Well, I hope this ain't the last coach. Go ahead, Radar.
There's not going to be any more off season.
Yeah,
not for college football anymore.
Yeah,
because with that in place, recruitment is now going to that.
Yeah,
another level now.
Year round. Yeah,
year round.
Well, I hope, because Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, he laid a verbal smackdown on both Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban, and I'm hoping that we get a few more coaches spats like this, because that was definitely entertaining. And the only reason we got that was because of the NIL. It was funny to me, when talking about entertainment wise, to see Nick Saban quickly backtracking when Fisher called him out, because if you think about what Fisher said, he said, you might find out some things about somebody, they think they're God. You might find out when you do some digging how the deals got done. It was almost like he was calling Saban out for some dirty practices and doing some things that ain't so above board. And hey, he might know, he coached with him, so hey, definitely entertaining so far. So we'll see how it goes moving forward. Hey, listen up, everybody. Catch us every Tuesday night on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell everybody you know about it. Then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version, the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. When we come back, it's time for the wrap-up.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
It's time now for the crossover wrap-up report. Let's send it back to the tunnel crew.
All right, welcome back to At Home with Crossover. TP, do we have any social media comments, shout outs, or anything from listeners and fans?
What we just have is our YouTube family's just giving us some encouragement, saying, that's right, you go on ahead. Radar's wrong.
Radar's wrong. I love it. I love it.
A lot of encouragement. You know, they're just giving us a lot of encouragement along the way. Stats did a good job. Birdman's doing a great job. Radar needs a little bit of help, but hey, Big T, you're doing great.
Hey, Radar needs more than a little bit of help. We gotta make sure somebody walk him out of the room when the show is over, because we don't want him to trip and get hurt. You know.
They were talking about Radar with the trash can.
With the trash. I don't even know how he could see where it was. You know, to reach over and pick it up.
If he was so sick, he couldn't have found it.
Hey, you know, before the break, I had said Nick Saban was quick to backtrack on the stuff. He came back out the next day and said, I should have never really singled anyone out. That was a mistake.
He probably got fined.
Yeah, you know what I think? I think he got scared when Fisher started saying, "Hey, look and see how God got his deal done." Let me hurry up and get out there and apologize, get ahead of this thing, try to squat. Because you notice you ain't heard nothing else about that whole situation since
too late
Thursday. Yep. So, all right. Hey, and one other little story, quick note. A&T coach Will Jones, I heard him in an interview earlier today, and he said he's talked to Hubert Davis. He and Hubert Davis have been in talks, and they're trying to get North Carolina, the Tar Heels, to either play on campus at A&T, but it's more likely that they'll end up playing at the Greensboro Coliseum. But there is an outside chance that they might play over at the Corbett Center on the campus of A&T. Can y'all imagine that? And they said if it happens, it'll be sometime within the next 2 to 3 years. So, man, that might be interesting, wouldn't it?
They're gonna have a long time coming. Go ahead, Stats.
What'd you say, Stats?
They're gonna need some extra seats in there for that.
Yes. Hey, and probably have to beef up security, because like you say, everybody gonna be trying to get on campus.
You know them. Do you know them Aggies don't know how to act when they lose?
I ain't say. I didn't say beef up security because of that. I said beef up because all of Greensboro gonna be trying to get up in there.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have people from all walks of life. There'll be some big businessmen from the other persuasion up and trying to get up in there. So you're gonna have to beef up security for sure if that does happen. All right, let's get into our pick segment for this week. But before we go with the picks, we're gonna recap last week's standing. And guess what? Look who is on top of the mountain by her lonesome. The queen, mama, the first lady, the doctor, TP is in the house. She went 7-2 last week and won the week. Picked up another win for the tiebreaker. Congratulations, TP. That was awesome. And then we got a log jam at number 2. You got Aggie P, you got me, you got Bromel, you got Radar, you got Stats. We all went 6-3. And then Birdman is bringing up the rear at 3-6. He was the contrarian, went against us on the NBA picks, took Dallas over the Warriors, and unfortunately that has not worked out for him.
Take the belt from him.
Take the belt from him. Let's jump on into the overall standings, and it looks like this. Bromell is on top with 89 wins. Me and Radar continue to be tied at number 2 with 84 wins. Aggie P is next with 82 wins. TP is next with 80 wins. Birdman and Stats are now tied at 69 wins, and they are both 13 games back of Aggie P for last place in the playoffs. TP is breathing down Aggie P's next. She's only 2 games behind, so she might be able to
pass him this week.
Yeah, and you might be able to run him down, TP.
Yeah.
This tie ain't gonna last, so Stats don't get used to that.
Stats, congratulations on the time, man.
Look, I'm fine with being at the end. It's fine.
Great job, Stats.
Hey, okay, so here's the games for this week. We got Major League Baseball. The Yankees at the Rays, not the Devil Rays, the Rays, and the Brewers at the Cardinals. You had to pick the winner of those series. Both of those series are 4 games. You either had to pick a sweep, 4-zip sweep, 3-1 lead, or a tie in the series. And you could pick a team that was going to lead if there was a rain cancellation for any reason. All right, then in the WNBA, we got the Dallas Wings at the Connecticut Sun. And then we got the Washington Mystics at the Connecticut Sun later on in the week. And then we got the USFL action, the New Jersey Generals at 5-1 versus the Tampa Bay Bandits at 3-3. And finally, our Carolina Cobras are at home this weekend hosting the Jacksonville Sharks. And you could pick that game. Plus, you had to give us a score if you picked that game. So the score could be the tiebreaker. I'm going to go ahead and read those who are not here. Bromell is first. He took the Yankees to win the series 3-1 or to lead. And he took the Cardinals to win the series 3-1 or to lead if there's a rain cancellation. He took the Suns over the Wings in the WNBA, and he took the Mystics over the Sun in the WNBA. All right, let's go next. Next, you got me. I took the Yankees 3-1 and to lead. Took the Brewers 3-1 and to lead. Took the Connecticut Sun over the Wings. And I took the Cobras, our Carolina Cobras, to win 59-52. Radar, give us yours, sir.
I'm going with the Yankees 3-1 with the lead. Wings over the Suns with Enrique showing out. Della Don and the Mystics over the Suns and the New Jersey Generals to win.
There you go. Next, we got the Queen, TP.
Okay, I had the Yankees 3-1 lead, Suns over the Wings, Mystics over the Suns, Cobras 56 over 41.
There you go. All right, I'll read Aggie P's. He's got the Sun over the Wings in the WNBA, Mystics over the Suns in the WNBA. Got the New Jersey Generals. He's got the Cobras. Man, the big blowout, 55-10. Birdman.
All right, I got Yankees, my Yankees 3-1 lead, Brewers 3-1 lead, the in New Jersey Generals and the Cobras 53-48.
All right, that leaves Stats.
All right.
Give us yours, sir.
Okie dokie. So I'm gonna do a audible on the Padres pick, and I'm gonna change that to the Yankees. And
Okay.
I'm gonna take instead of the Hurricanes leading, I'll take the Cardinals to win the series because their offense looks better than the Brewers right now. And then I'll leave the other two. So
Okay, all right. We'll get your Stats off the air because yours are all messed up, man. Hey, these ain't none of the picks we got this week. So anyway, hey, that's gonna just about do it for this edition of At Home with the Crossover. I'm your man, Big T, for the Queen,
Blessings.
for Birdman, for Radar,
Narrows the way.
for Stats.
Baseball is here.
I'm your man, Big T, signing off and saying, no matter where y'all, look up and know that your creator is there. Until next time, see ya, and we might want to be.
That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for the crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.